Hey guys, my phone froze for a second. Hey, it's Michelle Beckner here of Michelle Beckner Family Wellness. Welcome to the Friday installment of the Happy Mama, Healthy Baby live show. It doesn't matter. We're all happy and healthy if we watch my show, right? Episode 22. Today I'm going to be talking about why your baby needs lots and lots of fat in their diet. And really this applies to anybody, babies, toddlers, teenagers, adults. The numbers might be a little bit different for, different age groups, but everybody needs fat in their diet. And I don't really focus on numbers so much anyway. So before I get into it, I've got my little microphone here because we're getting work done in our house, and I don't want there all of a sudden to be like a saw or a drill going off and you won't be able to hear me. So hopefully you can hear me okay. So yeah, before I get into it, if you haven't joined me before, then welcome. I am Michelle Beckner of Michelle Beckner Family Wellness, if you haven't figured that out by now. I help mamas take care of themselves so that they can take care of their babies and feed them right. I specialize in nursing moms whose babies have food allergies or food intolerances, so I support moms who need to cut dairy or soy or eggs or all of the above out of their diet for their babies' intolerances. And I've been through it. I'm still going through it. Actually, so both of my babies, if you've been watching this, you know, or if you know me, then you know both of my babies had a dairy allergy. I'm still nursing Bradley quite often, even though he's a little over a year. It's kind of an arbitrary deadline or whatever you want to call it for nursing past a year anyway. But yeah, I reintroduced dairy back into my diet when he was around like 8 months or so. I started, and we still eat very limited dairy in our house anyway, so it wasn't much. But his symptoms were starting to flare up again, and he ate eggs for like the first time he himself ate them. Like the first time he ate like a ton of them, because normally he wasn't really too into them, and he got topic what I want to talk about. But just sharing some of my personal experience, and it looked like freezing, blah, blah, blah. Freezing possibility faces. I hope it's back. Yeah, so I recently recut dairy out of my diet completely, maybe like a week or two ago only. And I also cut eggs out of my diet, which I've never done before. And I'm a huge egg eater, so I thought it was going to be really hard, but it's really not so bad. I've been digging savory oatmeal. If you guys saw my post from a few days ago, I'm just totally into that. So anyway, yeah, I help moms do that, and I've been through it before, and I'm going through it now. So I'm a good person to talk to if that's what you're going through and you're struggling with it. And I'm also your starting solids guru. So if you've got questions on starting solids, I'm the one to ask. And I do a starting solids class a couple times a year. I'm going to start one again in the fall. So I thought I'd talk about this. It's not quite starting solids. It's more just like baby nutrition in general. But we're going to be talking about getting enough fat in your baby's diet, baby, toddler, whatever. Like I said, it can apply to anybody. I think that's all I wanted to say before I got into the topic. Okay, well, happy Friday. It's beautiful out. And, oops, sorry. I'm just on my phone, too. So, anyway, I'm sitting out on my porch, my favorite spot in the world. Alrighty, so let's get started. Like I said, I don't really focus on numbers too much, but I do want to point out, and these numbers are kind of, they are like averages, so don't like totally take my word for it, but on average, the composition of breast milk, and breast milk we know changes like throughout your nursing relationship and throughout the day and even throughout like a single nursing session. So this is all very, very average, but it's just to give you an idea of like the general composition of breast milk. It's about 10% protein only, so not much protein, about 30% fat at least. Like it could be even more than that depending what numbers you look at. And then the rest is, so like 60% carbohydrates in the form of sugars, which is lactose. Lactose is milk sugar. So breast milk is mostly sugar. If you've tried it, then that would make sense to you because it's pretty sweet, right? And then next is fat. It's about 1/3 fat, which I'm sure, again, if you've seen it, you'll see like that layer of fat that kind of separates on the top. and then only 10% protein. So like I've talked to a lot of moms who are starting solids with their kids, and they're worried that they're not getting enough protein. But honestly, babies especially, and like growing toddlers, they really don't need that much protein in their diet. Really, the amount of maybe only like 2 eggs. An egg is about 7 grams of protein. About 2 eggs a day is good for a toddler, like a 2-year-old. That's really all the protein they need. So just ease your worries on that a little bit. What you do want to focus on is fats. Carbohydrates, sugars are pretty easy to get into you or your baby or anybody, right? Those are the stuff that we all love. They give us that quick burst of energy and those feel-good chemicals in our brain. So here we're focusing on fat. And again, breast milk is about 1/3 fat. And we know that's the ideal food for feeding your baby, whether you feed them breast milk or formula or combination or what. I think we can all agree that breast milk is the ideal food for a growing baby, right? I mean, that's what formula is modeled after. So, few reasons why we want to have a lot of fat in our diet. First of all, like I said, we're trying to model it off of breast milk, right? If it's good for growing babies, then it's good for growing toddlers too, right? So first thing is fat gives us energy. So normally you think of carbs as like the main source of energy, right? And they do give you a real quick burst of energy. Any kind of carbohydrate, sugar, whatever gets broken down into glucose in your body. So even lactose gets broken down into glucose in your body. I hope that's right. People that are lactose intolerant don't have the enzyme to to break down lactose to be usable by your cells. So that's why they have issues with it. But anyway, carbohydrates are like that quick burst of energy, and then if you don't use it, it gets stored as body fat. Fat is like the more longer term steady source of energy. Your brain actually loves running off of fat. I'm not going to get into it too much, but there's a type of diet called a ketogenic diet, which is like super high fat, low carb diet. I'm not saying like it's, the best for everybody's different. So I'm not like trying to be a big proponent of it. I'm just saying it as an example. People who follow a ketogenic diet will often tell you that their brain functions much better and they have like a lot more clear thinking, and that's because the fat in their body gives them like that. It just helps, your body runs much smoother on it, and your brain really likes using fat as energy. So it's got that long-lasting energy. A really great part of that is it'll keep you full for longer. So whether you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to not have your kid asking for snacks every 20 minutes, those two things, if moms come to me complaining about one of those two things, first thing I recommend off the bat is incorporating more fats into your diet. So yeah, if you want to lose weight, you got to eat more fat because it'll keep you full and it'll actually help you burn that body fat that's created from too many carbs in your diet. So I hope I'm like blowing your mind here if you didn't know all this stuff. I know it's starting to become more mainstream, like the low fat diet is starting to be busted, I guess you could say. But yeah, so if you want to lose weight, eat more fats. If you want to stop snacking yourself, or if you want your toddler to stop snacking, have them eat more fats. And I'll get into what kind of fats I'm talking about here in a minute. Saying eat more fat really means nothing because there are good fats and there are bad fats. Just like carbohydrates, there's, you've got your whole grains, you've got your refined sugars, you've got the milk sugar, like there's all different kinds of carbohydrates too. And carbohydrates in vegetables, stuff like that. So anyway, eat fat if you want to reduce the amount of snacks that you or your baby or your toddler are asking for because they'll keep you full longer. Another huge benefit of fats is it helps with vitamin absorption in your body. So many key vitamins are fat soluble, mostly A, D, E, and K are all fat soluble vitamins. What does that mean? It means that you can't really absorb them or use them in your body unless you eat them with fat because they need to be absorbed by the fat before they can be usable by your body. So that's one great way to up the nutrient density sorry, my fingers. Sorry, I paused it. I set up my phone in a thing and I'm holding it and my arm is getting tired. So yeah, fat soluble vitamins. So, okay. So to up the nutrient density of your food, you got to add fats in it or you're not absorbing as much nutrients. So again, once you're getting enough fat, you're staying full for longer, you're having longer, you're not having like bursts of energy, you're having long, steady energy, and you're getting those really important fat-soluble vitamins. So all of this is pointing to you not needing to eat as much. So again, if you want to lose weight, eating more fats is great because there's a difference between being hungry for like nutrients and just being hungry because you're craving stuff. Like if you're hungry, your body needs nutrients, but then if you just eat like refined sugars or refined carbs or whatever, your body's not getting the nutrients it needs, so it's going to want you to keep eating. And if you're not eating the right stuff, then you're just constantly eating and you're always hungry because you're not getting the right nutrients. So you want to add those healthy fats into your diet so that your body is nutritionally satisfied. So all the cells in our body are made up of fats, so we need good fats to help build the cells. It helps like, and I'm not like a neuroscientist or anything, but it helps like those neural pulses and I don't know, whatever, move between cells faster, and that's why you can think more clearly if you have the right kind of fats in your diet. And also hormones. Many hormones are made out of fats. Actually, they're starting to call vitamin D more of a hormone than a vitamin. That's how important it is, and that's how many functions it has in your body. But hormones are pretty much all made up of fats. So if you've got any hormonal issues, like you have a wacky cycle, I know I'm supposed to be talking about babies here, but like I said, it applies to everybody. If you have a wacky cycle or you've got like fatigue or thyroid issues or anything like that, any kind of hormone thing probably means you need to increase fats in your diet. Obviously, work with your doctor, ask your doctor about all this kind of stuff, but this is just general what I've learned in my training and what I've seen with mamas. So yeah, for your hormones to function properly, you need enough fat in your diet. And you know, I actually just read the other day that having a good amount and the right amount or the right kind of fat in your diet helps your bones utilize calcium. So I haven't read into that too much to understand why, but I thought I'd point that out because I'm all about the no dairy or the low dairy lifestyle. So one of the first things people ask is, how do you or your kids get calcium? And I did a whole show on that, so go back and look at that. But again, if we have enough fats in our diet, then that means that the calcium that we are eating is more readily used. So there's just like a few hopefully very convincing reasons why you should add fat into your diet. So before I go, I'm going to tell you what kind of fats I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about the heart-healthy canola oil or vegetable oils that you've been probably told your whole life that you should switch out, you know, canola oil for butter to make it healthier. That is totally not true. So without getting too crazy scientific, I could do a whole nother show on this. I'm just going to say really quick that those vegetable oils, those processed oils, so like vegetable oil can mean like one of many things, like soybean oil, cottonseed oil, canola oil, any kind of the oils also that you'll see, which includes those in processed foods, those are all not good for you. They're polyunsaturated oils, meaning that they can go they're not very stable, so they can go rancid really easily. And a rancid oil means that it has a lot of free radicals. Okay, I know I'm throwing a lot of scientific stuff out there. Hopefully you've heard of the term free radicals before. Basically, they're not good for you. They damage cells in your body. They contribute to like wrinkles and premature aging and cellulite and, well, not free radicals, but polyunsaturated fats give you cellulite. So there's that. So anyway, those polyunsaturated vegetable oils, heart-healthy vegetable oils, they're high in omega-6s, which we need in our diet, but not much because they're inflammatory. They have free radicals, all that stuff. They're all around not good for you. So now that you know what to avoid, the kind of oils you want to eat, saturated fats are actually great. So any kind of animal fats, if you do eat animal products or meat, animal fats are actually great. The only stipulation is it has to be really good quality, pasture raised, grass-fed, that kind of stuff, because all the toxins that the animals or you or anybody eats, they all are stored, they all live in the fat. So if you're eating conventionally raised animal products, which we do too, because organic is expensive, we just try to limit the amount of meat we eat in general. But if you're eating conventionally raised animal products, you really want to eat the lean stuff, because the fat, and then add your own healthy fat to it. But the fat in conventionally raised animal products has all the bad stuff in it, so you don't want that. But if it's really good quality animal fats, then that's super, super good for you. Butter, again, if it's like grass-fed butter, or ghee, we eat ghee in our house because of our dairy intolerances. So ghee is just like the fat part of the butter. It's clarified butter, so they strip off like the water and the proteins, which cause the allergies. So those are saturated fats. Coconut oil, saturated fat. Anything that's like solid at room temperature is great. Just make sure it's really good quality. Cold pressed, unrefined, extra virgin, that kind of stuff. So next is olive oil. So that is liquid at room temperature, but it's a little bit more stable. So you want to store it out of light, because that can make it break down and go rancid and create those free radicals. And you also don't want to cook with it much past 350, which is kind of like a standard cooking temperature, right? So it really is best just added on top of salads, drizzled onto food after it's been cooked. I do roast with it a lot. No higher than 350. If you're doing some low temperature sauteing, then olive oil is fine. But it really is best if you're not heating it at all. And then other non-oils that are high in fat, foods that are high in fat are, obviously, we all know avocados, right? Salmon is another like nice flaky fatty fish is great. Again, make sure that it's high quality. You don't want Atlantic salmon, you want Pacific. Wild Alaskan is the best. What else? Chia seed, flax seeds, any nuts and seeds are great. Put those in your diet. And as far as your baby goes, because nuts are too safe to just give to a baby, so a really great way to do it. You can either do nut butters and spread them thin on like bread or whatever, or stir them in your oatmeal, in your baby's oatmeal. Or just grind up a bunch of nuts and seeds with some cinnamon. So like chia seeds, walnuts, Brazil nuts, almonds, cashews, whatever. Like a whole mix of them with some chia seeds and some cinnamon. And then you can sprinkle it on top of like their fruit. Like cut up a banana and sprinkle that like super seed high fat mix on top of their banana, and it's super yummy. And then I guess that'll bring me, so I hope you got a good list of what good fats are and what bad fats that you should be avoiding. So my last tip is fruit. So you know how I feel about fructose if you know me. So I recommend like no more than 2 pieces of fruit a day. For kids it's hard. Kids eat more, but they need more energy. So like I'd rather give my kids a bunch of strawberries than like a piece of candy, right? So if they want more fruit, then that's fine. I just try to limit it when I can, but make sure you serve it with fat, because then if you don't serve it with fat, they're not getting the full nutritional value out of that fruit, and it's not going to keep them full for long. So if they just have like an apple for snack or an apple for breakfast or a banana, they're going to be hungry like less than an hour later. But if you serve that apple with some peanut butter, or if you're good with dairy, then maybe like some nice organic cheese, that'll keep them full for long, and it'll help them absorb their nutrients. It'll do everything that we've been talking about. So then banana, cut up a banana, sprinkle that seed mix on top. It'll up their nutrient value and keep them full for longer, prevent them from asking you for snacks all the time. So that was a lot. Maybe I should have broken it up into more than one. But it's Friday, so I don't want to take up your time any longer. I hope everybody enjoys their weekend. And I will be back here, I guess, on Tuesday talking about Happy Mama stuff. And let me know in the comments if you learned anything, or if you're going to change the way that you feed yourself or feed your babies. I want to know. All right. And I'll see you guys later. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.